Yeah. Hey, this that special sauce. Spin that drip, I wipe it off. $1,000,000 worth of game. Can't feel that I work too hard. Poetry only needs.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Ish your boy, Dope Boy Diesel coming back in. Let me make sure that we really live and direct for the peoples real quick. Okay. It's looking like a little something. It's looking like a little something. Make sure we can hear. Bad. All right. To all my stoners, hippies, hip hop enthusiasts, welcome to the Doja Room, live from the ATL. Just here to catch up with the people. I've been, I think I gotta move this, but I've been pretty much just relaxing a little bit, enjoying ATL, enjoying everything that it has to offer, and eating food, getting drunk, having a good time in general. So for everybody who has been looking for a Thursday and Friday show, here we go. Okay, we're going to do a little quick recap. We got some Diddy stuff that we have to cover. We have some frivolous things to go through, obviously. We're going to get through a couple of topics. Then we're going to catch up on the Diddy stuff because obviously tomorrow we're right back into it, okay? We're right back into all of the trial stuff. And it's going to be another long day of the Diddy trial starting back. So lately we've been, or the last 2 days I've been out or been here, they have been talking to Jane Doe, which many of us now understand to be 50 Cent's baby mother. And with her coming up and, just giving a entirely different perspective on a relationship with Diddy, on the freak offs, so on and so forth, it's a pretty interesting bit of a testimony, I must say. She seems like she really enjoys and likes Diddy, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that when the time comes. Like I said, I do got a couple of topics that I want to get to. So without further ado, let's knock some of these out because there's been a lot going on this weekend. First of all, I just want to say, though, Atlanta is an amazing place, but y'all, traffic, first and foremost, Atlanta traffic. Now, I'm saying this as a New Yorker, as a person who drove in and out of the city every single day, whether I was driving across the George Washington, whether I was driving across the Cuomo Bridge, Mario Cuomo Bridge, whatever you call it, Tappan Zee. Whether you're driving across either bridge, you know how traffic goes. If you're trying to get from Manhattan to Brooklyn, if you're trying to get from uptown to downtown, we know how traffic goes. But this Atlanta shit is different. Okay, y'all, it seems like y'all not supposed to have this many people in this city or some shit like that. It seems like y'all haven't fully figured out infrastructure yet, which is okay. It's fine, but y'all gotta get that shit together. It's a little wild. Let me see if I can reposition my cam just a little bit so I can make this a little bit more intimate and personal, a little more intimate and personal for you guys. Okay. So, so I'm here on an Atlanta trip. Shout out to the bride and groom that I came to see and celebrate with and have a good time with. So, shout out to some of the restaurants that I went to. And what else? I think I checked out the Trap Museum. The Trap Museum is pretty dope. I would definitely go again. And it seemed like somebody really took their time, somebody with a real artistic talent and skills. They came and put all of that together, and they did an amazing job. So it was pretty dope walking through there for a nice little 20-30 minutes, and continuing on with the trip. But yeah, I think Atlanta should definitely have some more things like that. It's nice, it's unique, it's something that you wouldn't normally see. And so yeah, I'm appreciative of it. It's pretty dope. What else does Atlanta have to offer besides traffic, good food? Shout out to Hungry as Fuck. That shit was amazing. I think I had some rasta pasta, shrimp rasta pasta, which was a new item on their menu. I tried. There's a pretty popular or famous chef out here. We tried his food. I can't remember the restaurant. It's seven something. But I tried his food. It was pretty dope. Got to talk to the man a little bit. Very personable. Had an amazing time in a taste test with some of the stuff that he was making. Again, more rasta pasta, jollof rice. What else? Skewers and all type of a great barbecue. It would seem like it was a lot going on. But so far I'm really enjoying everything besides the traffic. Um, Stopped at Lenox Mall, very nice. I've been to Atlanta a couple of times before, but each experience that I have in Atlanta is different. I see a different part of Atlanta every time I come through here. So it's dope being live from here. It's dope being here. But yeah, you experience a little bit of Atlanta every time you come out here. So at least that's the case for me. So I think it's a beautiful place to be, and the people are great. Especially, everybody is so hospitable, even if they kind of look like they're a little bit off. Everybody is very hospitable, nice. Um, has hospitality. They're great in serving. I think maybe Keith Lee came and put everybody on their toes or something like that. So everybody is amazing as far as serving goes, as far as getting food, things like that, and being served in general. It was pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and give ATL before we get into these topics. Let's go ahead and give ATL a Don DeMarco real quick.
Dom DeMarco.
Okay, I don't know what that was, but okay. But let's go ahead and get into some of the topics and knock some of these out before we go ahead and try to get this Diddy trial out of the way. So we got a couple of things going on in the world of X, in the world of online, in the world of the world. Let's get to this first, because me personally, I hadn't even known that Kevin Gates and Brittany Renner really even got married. Like they actually got married, or supposedly. So this is what happened. Okay. So apparently, Brittany Renner reveals that she is already divorced from Kevin Gates. Didn't even know they
It's
were
May
married. But let's get
28th.
into it.
So you're divorced.
Yes. But there is a 90-day waiting period in Islam where it's basically you have 90 days to see if you're pregnant, because then he would be responsible, right? And then also in those 90 days, it's for reconciliation, because Allah wants you to stay married. And then during those 90 days, you are not to entertain anybody romantically. So what I will say is that Islam has made my life a lot easier. I think even with this transition and
She's still going with it, guys. She's
things
still keeping up
changing.
with this shit.
Honestly, it's I don't think anybody gets married to not stay married. So I think my biggest thing for me is this is a nice 90-day reset, just focusing on myself and pouring into myself. And what I also will add is that I followed my heart, and that's more than what most people can say in this world. And I have no shame in that. That's why I'm here. BET Awards. As you can see, I'm out.
You got the BET Awards, bitch. Following your heart. I think Brittany Renner. It's time for Brittany Renner to stop following her heart. At this point, it's not doing anything for you. Okay, it's not helping you out. It's not making things better for your life, it's really not helping anything out. You should probably give up following your heart, specifically yours. I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else, but your heart in particular, you need to stop following that shit because you got a lot going on. Okay, let's keep it pushing. Sexiest women alive according to Revolt TV. Okay, you got Beyonce at number one, Holly Berry at number two, Tiana Taylor at number three, Rihanna at number four, Nia Long at number five, Nicki Minaj at six, Sierra at seven, Coco Jones, she is fire. She is fire. At eight, Megan Thee Stallion at nine, and SZA at 10. Now, personally, I'm gonna just say, okay, it's cool. We want to pay homage. It's cool, but let's just be serious. Nia Long is no longer on this list. We just got to keep it a stack. Holly Berry no longer on this list. They not keeping up with what's out here. It's too much fine shit out here. It's too much fine shit out here. I'm sorry. Go ahead and bump Coco Jones up a couple of spots because she definitely is some real fire. Even though it's fuck Meg, we talking about sexy women and raps and being a bitch and being a conniving bitch, a bitch ass liar don't have anything to do with it. So let's go ahead and bump Megan Thee Stallion up at least to top three, at least to top three. Okay, y'all can say what you want about her. We all know what she is, but ugly she is not. Okay, that's one thing we can never say about Megan Thee Stallion, and we got to go ahead. Berry at this point in time does not look better than Megan Thee Stallion. I'll leave Beyonce at number one out of respect. You know what I'm saying? Out of respect, because Beyonce is still some heat. Beyonce is still some heat. Halle Berry, let's go ahead and throw her at 9. Okay, she can get an honorable mention or something, maybe even 10. Okay, Nia Long, go ahead, drop her off at a good 8. You know what I'm saying? Sierra, but we not even checking for Sierra no more. Y'all gotta be like, who made this list? A nigga. The only person who could have possibly made this list is a nigga who is at least 40 years old, at least 45 or so, at least. Because yeah, bro, you gotta, you know what I mean? We're not checking for Sierra no more. Me personally, I mean, we know she's fine. We know she's fire. You know what I'm saying? We know she's some fine shit, but we're not checking for her anymore. It's just not. It's not what we're doing. Okay, she's fire, but go ahead and get her off this list. Okay, we don't even. She got kids at home. She got a lot of things to take care of. I mean, most of these women do got kids at this point, but yeah, she got way more things to take care of. Football, all of that. Russell Wilson. Go ahead and sit down to the side. SZA. I'm gonna just be honest. SZA has no business in the company of any of these women, past or present. SZA has no business in the presence of these women. I mean, SZA's cute and all of that, but SZA is one of those people that I've come to realize that you might see her online and she looks fire, but when you see her in person, there's like five points that need to be deducted. Okay, there's like 5 points that need to be deducted. They be saying she got a BBL, but I don't understand how. It just, yeah, it's not. You should have just left your ass how it was if that was the case. It's just, maybe her ass was just really sad back in the day, just really sad, like really. But yeah, I'm just be honest. She doesn't belong on this list. You can find plenty of women who look better than SZA that you can throw on this list. Shit, India Love. I mean, who else? I mean, you can throw some bitches on baddies, off of baddies on this list. I mean, I'm just keeping it a buck, okay? Megan Thee Stallion right now, where she is now, she's top 3, probably 2. Okay, we can't be bullshitting with that. We can't be bullshitting. She's definitely top 3. We don't like her. We don't fuck with her. Yes, we know, but she's not number 9. Okay, her shit is crazy. So I had to just put that out there. You guys go ahead, get into the comment box. Tell me what you think about this list. Tell me what you think about this ranking. Tell me if this is accurate to you. Who would you take out? Who would you put in? Go ahead and let me know, because I think this is pretty interesting. I think this is a little off. whoever made this Revolt TV. But yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting list. Let's get to cooking with Kaya. Cooking with Kaya. She has been going through some turmoil apparently because I guess the breakup with the boyfriend nigga isn't going so well. The nigga that she was dating. Now we know that she went, and we covered it here. She went to Streamer University. The boyfriend, he's a little obsessed. We even talked about it a little bit in Club Paradise. But here's the thing, okay? And since we're on my show, it is what I say it's gonna be. But look, here's the thing that a lot of people miss. And like I said, we were talking about it a little bit on Club Paradise, and everybody's all like, oh, this nigga sees she's getting cloud and he wants some of the cloud and this, that, the third. And I'm just here to say this shit isn't about clout. It's beyond. It is about clout, but it's not. It is about clout, but it's not. Yes. Okay, if you bring a shorty up in here and niggas can sit here and be like, oh, she was making content before him and they were both making content together, yada, 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 yada. I never seen this nigga anywhere near in her content, around her content. Didn't even know she really had a boyfriend. Let's make that clear. So for you niggas talking about they both used to be making content or they were making content together the whole time, whatever the fucking case may be, I really don't give a fuck. That doesn't really have anything to do with anything here. Just because of the simple fact that, I understand it. You bring a shorty up, nobody knows her. All of a sudden, she got 6 million followers, probably 10 million followers across platforms, 10 plus million followers across platform. She cut, and every nigga seemingly on planet Earth is going crazy over her for whatever reason. And we doing it. They're going crazy over her because the women are having such a reaction to her, partly. But every nigga on planet Earth is going crazy over your woman. And, eventually, as I was saying in Club Paradise, it gets to a point where, you kind of just know that that ball is going to be taken soon. Okay? You're dribbling, you playing some one-on-one, or you playing, you just putting up shots right now by yourself, you and your ball. But eventually that you're gonna have to get off the court and let other niggas play, right? Eventually even though you just on the court dolly with you and your ball, that other niggas is gonna come and they're gonna eventually want to get in a 5-on-5. They're gonna want to come in and put in that work. And the people that are coming, they're athletes, millionaires, hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, and the thing is that with so many women, miss about cooking with Kaya, because these are the people, as you can see, who are attacking her right now and going at her because obviously, number one, when she first came up, the women were jealous. They were jealous. They thought she didn't look that good. They thought she couldn't cook really that good. And to be honest, it wasn't really about all of that. It never was about all of that. When she was blowing up, going viral, things like that, it was never about all of that. It seems like a lot of people don't like that she, I guess, is kind of playing to the male crowd a little bit. She does play to the male crowd. And on top of that, she came out and talked about how great of a person DDG was. Oh, woe was me. Please don't do that. So, obviously, a certain demographic, a certain crowd who already doesn't like men or anything that men do. And if there's anything going on where there's a man versus a woman, you can 100% guarantee the side that they're going to take, the things that they're going to say, and the delusion that they're going to display. So, it's that crowd who's basically coming at her and, kind of making her life live in hell, all because it seems like her and this guy hasn't worked out. Now, partly it seems like it's because of him. It seems like he's doing some whole shit too. And when stuff first started happening, I kind of said, like, hey, bro, I kind of feel you. I kind of feel you. I understand. Okay? Like I said, you playing with your ball, you having fun with your ball, and all of a sudden, it would seem like people want to just divide you. People want to divide you. She's looking for reasons to, cast you aside or whatever the case may be, or move on. But when you're doing whole shit like this, we can't stand behind you.
Somebody who I used to talk to had access to my account, and he blocked like every influencer off of my account. Y'all go tell Kai I did not ban him. I will not do that. I'm so mad about that. That's so weird.
So she looking at it as you blocking the bag. This is whole shit. Okay, this is now you're getting into the territory of doing whole shit, blocking her bag, blocking other niggas, doing all of this extra shit and trying to make her not move on. Right? First of all, she done moved on. You done had bitches in the stream. First of all, when you brought the bitches to the stream, it was already case closed. It was case closed. She's not feeling bad about anything she does after that. And she's not. She's not going to feel guilty. She's not going to feel bad. You did your big one. Now she has the ammo that she needs to go out there and get bent over. Okay? Get her ass tooted up. Now she has all the ammo that she needs to go ahead and do what she needs to do. When you start doing whole shit like that, it's just unnecessary. It shows that you have no control over your emotions. And if you were doing whole shit like this the entire relationship, it's understandable why she kind of told you, like, hey, maybe you need to get established first. Maybe you need to get yourself together first. Maybe that was her way. Now, again, I know that's bullshit. I do know that's bullshit. I do know jabber like that is bullshit, but girls do things like that so they can let you down easy, so they don't necessarily have to hurt your feelings with reality. Sometimes you have to understand that that's what women do. Sometimes they just, let me just, men do it too. I mean, we do it too. Like, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm gonna take care of you. Yeah, I'll take you out. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, yeah, all right, don't worry. Yeah, we do that kind of things. Just, yeah, brush it along. So I feel like that's kind of what she was doing. Okay, she got to the point where she was like, yeah, just maybe just get established. Get a couple of M's in the bank account and come up, and we can revisit this whole relationship thing. I don't see how you're two successful people, if you're really in love with each other, if she really is in love with you, or you haven't done anything to mess that up. I don't see how you don't come up in the world together when you're both eating, you're both streaming, you're both successful. I mean, you can look at his chat. He is in the top 10, if not the top 1% of streamers. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to be a streamer and, be able to make a living off of it. You know what I'm saying? And get money, get paid off of it, be able to stay home and not worry about anything. It's hard. So it's not like he's just, some regular peon, I guess. It's not like he's just a nobody. But I don't necessarily see you coming up with somebody like that. And you guys want to be like, okay, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. Let's just split, see what the industry has for us. And yeah, if we work out, then we'll meet back here in the middle. But 9 times out of 10, we know what that's about. We know what that conversation is about. A lot of men know what talk like that is about. And I feel like he kind of picked up on that, and he may have accelerated the process with trying to control her and get her to, and I don't say control like, hey, bitch, stay in the house, but it seems like he's trying to control her actions and control the things that she does in an emotional way, okay? In a way where it's just like, oh, I just want to sit down. I just want to chill in the house. I think she mentioned it. You just want to chill in the house all day. You don't really want to go out. You don't want to link your friends. You don't want to shoot content. You don't want to get to it, okay? And his full-time job probably became making sure nobody take his ball, which at the end of the day, when that becomes your full-time job, then you're, like I said, only thing you're doing is accelerating the process. All right, it's not worth it. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you with what you're trying to do. Okay, it's not going to help you do anything. Duty calls. Niggas is blind real quick. I gotta. There's no way niggas is this blind. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. There's no way that they're this fucking blind. Okay, let's keep it pushing. Cause we got a lot on the itinerary for right now. This is court hearing being pushed back. So obviously DDG, let's get into some of that. What I really wanted to do was just look at some of the people who are around homie. And you can pretty much see, this shit is being stupid. You can pretty much see how things really were. And it doesn't necessarily take a rocket scientist to see that, you know, obviously the person who is a little bit off, it might be Holly, okay, or Haley, whatever the fuck her name is. Let's just get into some reactions. A lot of people had things to say about their interactions, mostly their text messages.
Fuck all the allegations about you wanting to offer yourself. You can't spell. you misspell shit more than you spell shit right. I'm going to off my tonight. My son would not be around for it. I hate you forever. Oh, this was in 24, y'all. We getting closer. Your can have him and let her be his mom. She might be a pirate, chat. She might be a motherfucking pirate. She said, your hold on now. Hold on, Shawty. Your can have him.
That was
girl, this is not no damn Disney Channel. I hate this life. I don't want to be here anymore. I hate all this. Man, I hate this life. I hate it all. Girl, you is a multi-millionaire with a beautiful baby and a good family and Jay-Z and them your uncle. Hey, I don't want no smoke with you, shout it. I'm just trying to read. Everybody's seen this. This on Twitter.
That's his reaction. Let's get into this. Is interesting. Alala Baptiste explains why Haley thought DDG slept with her.
That our whole friend group went on, right? Our whole friend group went on this trip, and everyone on this trip can confirm there was nothing weird going on. I wasn't even staying near them. It was for someone's birthday. Let's start there. There was never anything sneaky going on. Like, me and Daryl's relationship has always been strictly started off as business. Obviously, if you know, you know, like he put me onto YouTube, started off there, grew into a friendship, has always remained platonic. So it's very unfortunate. Like, I know people already have this narrative because it's just hard to believe that a guy and a girl can be friends. Like, it's hard to believe that me and him or any other guy and girl can just strictly be platonic friends, okay? But nothing has ever gone on past that, ever. Context behind these accusations in general is stemming from a group trip that our whole friend group went on, right? Our whole friend group went on this trip, and everyone on this trip can confirm there was nothing weird going on. I wasn't even staying near them. It was for someone's birthday. Let's start there. There was never anything sneaky going on.
So where is she
Like,
getting this?
me and
Like,
Daryl's
where is she
relationship.
getting this narrative from that this nigga was fucking her then? And why is everybody trying to run with, oh, he cheated, that's why she, like, what are you niggas talking about? Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Has always been strictly started off as business. Obviously, if you know, you know, like he put me onto YouTube, started off there, grew into a friendship, has always remained platonic. So it's very unfortunate. Like, I know people already have this narrative because it's just hard to believe that a guy and a girl can be friends. Like, it's hard to believe that me and him or any other guy and girl can just strictly be platonic friends, okay? But nothing has ever gone on. I was on this trip with him, and of course she had every right to like jump to conclusions at that point because I would have done the same thing. Like, I'm a girl, I know how it is.
She had the right
I've
to
been in
jump to
relationships.
conclusions. I don't know about that. Shorty seems like she's bugging just a little tad little bit. But I don't really say Haley necessarily felt that they were fucking. It just, if there's no evidence to the contrary, and there's nothing but you having some intuition, some random intuition, brother, I mean woman, it's like, what are you going off of? What are you doing? And by people, you know, speaking on the situation and coming out and saying things like this, it just makes her look more and more crazy. I'm just saying. It just makes you look more and more crazy because these people are just coming out and adding more and more context to these events that are going on around y'all, and it just doesn't look good. Let's get this little Illuminati's.
Bitch don't even know how to spell. She was probably so mad she was spelling everything wrong. You don't step up when I need you. I'm begging you. I'm begging! I just found out you slept with Lala in Mexico. I ain't gonna lie. Shit, I would've too. Shit, what you talking about? I heard you slept with Lala in Mexico. I'm just playing, y'all. Don't try to clip shit, bro. Cause y'all niggas some hoes. I'm just playing, bro. I'm just playing. I heard you slept with Lala in Mexico. I'm going to... No TOS, y'all niggas on Twitch. No TOS. I'm concerned. I'm here like a professor. I'm actually concerned. I think she should be in a psych ward or something. Bro, she's a psycho, bro. She's not normal. You want to kill yourself because my nigga is in Mexico chilling and got some pussy? Bro, it's billions of... You Haley. Bro, don't get you a nigga. What the... You want to kill... She said, I just found out you slept with Lala in Mexico. I'm going to...
Where did you find that out from, though?
I'm going to do this.
She's saying that, but where did you find that out? Where did you get that from? Because Lala's coming out and saying that she didn't... Like, bitch, you're tripping, basically. No shit like that ever happened. So whoever told you that, they're lying. So who the fuck did you find this out from?
I can't believe you're acting like this. So this is DDG. I can't believe you acting like this. Bro, you can't date a girl who is in the industry. She is property. She's not real. She's a fucking demon. Like, I think people, when they hear demon, they just think like some crazy monster zombie shit. No, she's filled with negative energy, bro. She has a negative aura, bro. You can see it through her smiles. Look at her fucking spaced out eyes. She's not us. She's not. How y'all don't know this? Nigga, we in 2025. Why would you tell him you want to do that to yourself? You put your penis inside her in Mexico. So you want to just leave the Matrix because my nigga got some pussy. Meanwhile, you can get any nigga you want in the world. Is that deep? This is mental shit, y'all. She's not normal. Bro, is there any girls in here? Be honest. I know it's some females in here. Bro, you gonna kill yourself because of your man got some like, is it that deep? Seriously, you gonna end your life because a temporary man that you with is out here splurging? Bitches get cheated on every fucking day. Move on. The D caught that. No TOS, hell no. No TOS, nigga, I'm gazer. I help people through that shit. I help people through all of that. Depression, suicidal. Some of y'all in here, people tell me all the time, you never know who you helping. Like, it's probably somebody having a terrible, terrible, terrible day, and they get a chance to just come in here and chill and watch the stream. Simple. You put your penis inside her in Mexico. Answer the fucking phone. I gotta put my glasses back on. I can't.
Oh yeah, she was tripping. And not only that, you can't type when you're angry. You can't think straight. There's just a lot going on with the girl. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, like we said, you tripping about this Mexico trip. Shorty's over here trying to figure out what you're talking about. So you was doing all of this for no reason. You was doing all of this for no reason. Postpartum, cool, I get it, but nah, come on, man, come on. You guys to do better. Let's see. I think we have this Black Queen speaking on the matter here.
So Halle did come forth and respond
So
to DDG's,
let's get her perspective as well.
request for a
Everybody's speaking
restraining
about
order.
it.
Everybody is saying that his motion was denied. His motion, I believe, was not denied. They continued it until the 24th, but I did grant him a restraining order against her. Now, here's the thing. To me, she hasn't proven the reason why Halo should be without his dad.
Well, we all know that. That's the most obvious fact, right? You haven't proven why your son shouldn't have a father, which is basically what you're doing and trying to say right now. You haven't really broken it down why this man doesn't deserve to see his kid. And it just baffles me that even if you and him have some type of relationship where y'all may or may not get physical with each other, and not even to that extent, but y'all get physical with each other, that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with his ability to raise his child and to do the things that he needs to do for his child. Unless you're trying to stop his money, which is exactly what you're trying to do right now. It's unfortunate.
And you know what the kicker is? She hasn't denied anything from his counterclaim. She hasn't come out and said any of that is false. She's saying that he is utilizing his fan base and his career as a smear campaign against her. Mind you, the reason why they're in court is not because of DDG, because he said from jump that he did not want to take her to court. Everybody came on here and said the reason why he don't want to take her to court is because we come to find out the reason why he didn't want to take her to court is because indeed, like he said, he was protecting her career from jump. Okay? Because that pretty girl image, that good girl image is gone out of the door. For all of y'all that's coming on here and say, oh, Halle is better than me, I would have did the same thing. Y'all are unhinged. Okay? Cheating does not pose an imminent threat to a child. But those messages and things that she said in her messages does. Okay?
Well,
And then y'all
that's the thing about these women who are on this app, and a lot of modern women in general. Um, Once a man does anything wrong to a woman, especially infidelity, cheating, playing with her heart, whatever, it warrants, and at that point, a lot of these women will tell you anything that happens to the man after that is warranted. It should happen. In their opinion, they would have done something. Oh, I would have done worse. Oh, he's lucky it wasn't me. Y'all have this unhinged hive mind that just attacks any man who at any point crosses a woman for whatever reason. Y'all just feel like the worst things in human history should happen to this nigga. It doesn't matter what he does, especially if the nigga is a cheater. If a nigga, God forbid, a nigga cheats on somebody that you bitches like. I mean, they'll be calling for old boy to be in the gas chamber. You have these people literally wishing death on this man day in and day out because they don't fuck with him. You know, they don't like that he may have got his get back because he found his girl texting a man at 2 a.m. trying to meet up. Okay? So, yeah, and stuff like that, when women are willing to crash out like that, it's like y'all gotta understand, y'all be ready to crash out to the point, and everybody's like, oh, I understand it's postpartum, about it. Y'all be ready to crash out to the point where it's embarrassing to us, it's embarrassing to our career, it's embarrassing and DDG is, even though he films his life and puts it on display for everyone to see, you still have to build a certain persona, a certain character, a certain person that you are online. You got to turn the energy up a little bit. You got to, you got to put on just a little bit. It doesn't matter if you're doing it on a smaller scale or a big scale. There's some type of mask that you got to put on when you get behind this camera. So it's just, for you to mess that up and you to try to block that bag, it's a little crazy. It's just a little crazy.
y'all are mad at DDG for even trying to protect his parental rights. She went low, he went lower. She went to the floor, he went to the basement. Why y'all mad at him for actually, God forbid, a black man actually try to fight for his...
And I don't even look at it as she went low, he went lower. She took the shit to court, and now he has to defend himself. We're talking about the word abuse and abuser, words that never leave your reputation. True or false. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter who is necessarily in the right or wrong or who has all their facts. That's what somebody said about you. And so now in the court of the internet, that's true, regardless of any of the facts that he puts out.
He's so wrong. I don't get it. And here's the thing, y'all are saying, well, why didn't he go to the police? He threatened to go to the police multiple times when she threatened to unalive herself. But here's the thing, y'all need to know, black men typically don't go to the police. Why? All this shit that's happening in the world, and a black man is going to pick up the phone and call the police when black men aren't seen as victims, they're seen as aggressors from jump. Get the fuck out of here. God forbid, females come on here with a little bit of logic, they're called pick-me's. But here's the thing. Y'all want our black men to protect us, but y'all not doing anything to protect them. And it's sad as fuck to me. Y'all come on here and say, you know what? Oh my gosh, what I'm starting to see is black men just hate black women. This is not...
You gotta understand, these women don't feel protected if their black men aren't yes men. Okay, they don't want black men, they want yes men. They want you to agree and take the side of and never be nuanced or call things down the middle or call things how you see it. They want you to join their hive mind And when they say something is bad, you should also say something is bad. We know the the bad actors amongst them who parade around like men, but they're really just there to Derek Jackson you bitches. Let's just be honest. They really there just to Derek Jackson you bitches. Just to get one off, get their little, you know what I'm saying, get their little pat on the back for the day. But you got to understand you're dealing with women who, if you ever share an opinion at least just one time that differs from theirs, then they're side-eyeing you. You can't have a difference of opinion. You can't have a different perspective. You can't come at things with a more nuanced look at shit or anything like that. No, it's strictly about, you know, you not following their code and following, if, for example, if you're the type of person who sees what Holly Bailey put out as bullshit, which a lot of us could, if you're the type of person who can read through read in between the lines, which a lot of us could, then you're not a protector of black women in their eyes. If you're a person who can call bullshit when you see bullshit coming from a black woman's mouth or a woman in general, you're not a protector of women in their eyes. If you're willing to say, hey, y'all bitches is tripping, y'all tripping. Shorty doesn't deserve all of this hate. Kaya doesn't deserve all of this hate. This person, she doesn't deserve all of this hate. DDG, he doesn't deserve all of this hate. If you're the type of person that says that, and you're willing to say that to them, and you're willing to step up and prove that they have some real issues, then you're a part of the problem in their eyes. So you're not dealing with people who want a logical, thinking man around them. They want a yes man. They want a yes man.
This is not fucking true. How do y'all expect a black man to continue to provide, protect, and y'all are not protecting them either? Y'all are not. Y'all was jumping to the fence off of some he say, she said shit. Which really, it was just on her part, some she say shit, and she gagged him so he couldn't say anything or defend himself. There was too many holes in her story. He came back with his countersuit filled every hole that she had.
He did. That's what I said. I was just sitting there like, I mean, his story was just more complete, more full of details, facts, whatever, however you want to put it. It was just a more complete story. It seemed like he had his shit together a little bit more, and it just seemed like one of those situations where it's like, okay, you want to go there, so let's tell them what really happened. And he told us what really happened. That's what it was given. He didn't leave out too many details, if you ask me.
And now y'all still are defending her. But let a man say, you know what, I did all of these things because I just wasn't with it. I wasn't mentally cognizant of what was going on. I was having a mental breakdown. Y'all still would dog walk that man. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Men are not allowed to have mental breakdowns. We're not allowed to have moments of weakness. We're not allowed to really have moments of vulnerability, because then we'll be labeled dangerous. We're labeled. I mean, just imagine if homie said, I'm mentally unstable right now, or he gave off that he was mentally unstable any point of time throughout, the relationship, or while he was dealing with his son. He would never see his son again. If he ever threatened the life of his son or the safety of his son, he would never see his son again. And we're not afforded, he's going through postpartum and this, that, the third, and yeah, I get that. That's all of that is cool and dandy. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't necessarily make things better that we have to always be stoic and put our emotions away and be the rock. It's not always the best thing, and even when you do that, like it seems like he was doing here, you even still get the shitty end of the stick, because I mean, they're still saying all the things that they would have been saying had he been doing all of these things, had he been the person who was off or unstable. I mean, just imagine a man texting a woman that many times. Pick up your phone, call me back. Oh, I'm going to do this. If you don't call me, I'm going to, I got a knife at my head. I'm going to do this. I got a gun to my head. Think about that. You bitches wouldn't even give a nigga like that the sympathy. You wouldn't even give him any sympathy to say some shit like that. You wouldn't even give him the room to build on some bullshit like that, okay?
What she's doing, what she did and what she's doing to him is unacceptable. And for you guys to sit over here and be okay with that as women, and some black men don't take shit to court. Why they prefer to do the shit outside of court, okay? Y'all will probably have y'all kids taken away too. There is nothing wrong with 50-50 custody if you guys are no longer together.
And mind you, she was
Nobody
threatened by
should have
50-50
control over the
custody.
other one, whatever. And y'all are saying, oh, well, he cheated on her. It just showed that he just wasn't emotionally there for her. When is it okay for somebody to be an emotional punching bag to their partner? When is it okay for them to play therapist? That is
Literally.
not healthy. That is toxic.
She's saying emotional punching bag, but we're talking literal and figuratively, because you literally was beating the man's ass. And what so many women don't put into perspective is, okay, this man was getting his ass beat. When he does show up to try to make things right or whatever, she falls into either an argument, it falls into a nonstop, oh, I want to talk, I want to rectify this, I want to change you, I want to make you understand what I'm trying to say. And it's just an argument. It's not necessarily two people trying to understand and break down and have a conversation. You're not having a conversation with a person like that. And I don't understand why these niggas don't, or they act like they don't understand or get that. You're not having a conversation with a nigga like that. You're not having a conversation with a woman like that. You're gonna walk through the front door, and then you're gonna start getting gaslit. You're gonna have somebody coming at you, telling you that you're doing all of these things that, number one, you're not doing. Number two, that you have no control over. And number three, that they're doing to themselves. You're doing it to yourself. Holly is the type of person who, she's just one of those bitches. It's just like, bitch, you did it to yourself. You made yourself angry. You fucked your own day up. You made it so I had to defend myself and have all of this shit come out. And now your career, your character is under a microscope and being questioned. You did all of that. I didn't do anything.
And it seems like he just began to be fed up. Every time there was an issue or she wanted something, it was like he's running back and forth trying to make her happy. I checked out too. Nah, bitch, I can't be with you. Okay, so the emotional threats to myself is not working anymore. So now let me try to unalive my kid. Now, oh, and then it's sick as hell for a bitch to ever say that you love your kid and say, you know what, I'm gonna unalive myself, and you and your new girl just raised him. She can be his mom. Are you fucking crazy? Because she just had a baby, and me being a healthcare professional, I'm gonna say this. Anything that she's going through, even though it started before the child was even present, she can say that it was postpartum. I believe up until 7 years. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. Up until 7 years after having a kid, that woman can still claim postpartum.
That's tough. Up until 7 years, she can claim that her actions were driven by postpartum depression. Are you serious? Like, that's really wild. That's wild.
In her counterclaims that she answered to just yesterday or day before yesterday, whenever it was, everything that she was talking about was career-based. So for anybody that said DDG was always jealous of Halle, it looked like they was both going tit for tat with relationship. Who can kiss who can't do this in their content. She was controlling his content. He couldn't have the baby in his content. He couldn't have her in his content. And God forbid he couldn't do content with other females. That sounds like financial abuse, you guys. Then he comes on his platform and he's just reacting to her content, and she's kissing on men in videos and things like that. Yes, it's her job. And y'all was saying it's her job. She can do that. Okay, but she's restricted in the background him being able to do his job. That's why he was so fucking mad. Okay? And for the ones that said she had camera surveillance of him entering her house, if you read the messages on her end, hell yeah, let me go in here and see if her and my fucking son is okay. Both of them were clearly involved in infidelity in their relationship. Okay? I don't give a fuck who cheated first. To be honest, I don't care. It's about this baby at the end of the day. In her freaking counterclaims, everything is about his career. She just mentioned the dream come to show that he's a violent man. He didn't throw not one punch. Where is the violence to you, Hallie? Where is the reason why Halo shouldn't be with DDG? She says, oh, he's going to Hawaii. He's going to be doing these things. This is why he shouldn't be allowed to keep our son. His child is going to be with his grandmother, not even him. I'm pretty sure he can change a lot of those things around. And that proves to me that she's still white.
The whole fact that, oh, he doesn't even have a halo. He drops him off at his grandmother. So you got to pick one. Either you want the baby to be with him 24/7 while he's on visitation with him or whatever, having his time, or you don't want him around certain streams, people, and environments. And so the nigga's gonna leave him with his mother, like any adult would. So this is the part where you have to just ask, it's like, what do you truly want? What are you really looking for here? You damned if you do, you damned if you don't. And if you can't look at this situation and read in between the line and see that it's a situation like that, I don't know.
Watching that man, because a lot of those things that he talked about, the plans that he has, those are just recent announcements. How would you know that if you don't watch him, Hallie? Another thing she mentioned, his crazy fans, they came on here and took a picture of my son in the park with my nanny. Okay, it's okay for your son to be with the nanny while you're at work, but he can't be with the grandmother. You can't control what the fuck he got going on. If he already said he's not gonna have random bitches around your baby, why you mad about the grandmother and goddamn nieces, aunties, and uncles being around the baby? You can't control that, Hallie. And let's be honest, you're a freaking superstar. Whether it was a DDG fan or not, or a Hallie fan, either way, people are going to take pictures of that kid. Am I missing something here? He's running a smear campaign against her because he's thriving on Twitch. He hasn't said one thing about you. He uses the baby for quick clicks and views. Halo hasn't been in his content in months. He's still thriving. She's clearly jealous of his success. I don't know why or how, but baby girl is insecure. And then you emasculate him, say he's not good enough, and he needs to be like Jay-Z. Then he tells you, okay, well, I need to work in order to be able to make that happen. And you try to restrict his work. Y'all, am I missing something here? Y'all.
Not a damn thing.
She did not once in this provide any reason for or say that DDG was abusive. Everything is about his job, his career, and how things are looking. He utilizes his fan base against me. He comes on here and he says da-da-da-da. Well, your fan base attacked him.
Yeah, one thing that she can't outright say is that he's just abusive out here whooping her ass and doing all of these things, because if that was the case, then she could have went in for into some pretty good detail when she filed her original restraining order. She could have put in some pretty damning things in there, but it's just like I said, we just kind of could read through the lines, because it seems like you're not even fully committed to sitting here lying on this man like that. It's half-assed. You can't sit here and tell half the story and think that we're not gonna read it and recognize that we're reading half a story. You know what I'm saying?
Him for years, and you said nothing. They tell him to unalive himself. He didn't even bring that up in his restraining order. Everything he has is solely about you. Hallie, I'm gonna need more from you, girl. It's seeming like DDG not lying. I'm sorry this is so long, guys. This is all my hot takes with Laminda Monet. You guys let me know what you thought in the comments.
Yeah, Shorty ate that up, and shout out to her, whoever she is. I am India Monet. I am India.Monet. Shout out to her. Yeah, she really came in and summed it all up as far as our stance. I think most male and women with logical, functioning brains, that she has the stance of most of us, and she pretty much wrapped it up right there in a nutshell, on how we feel about the entire situation. Okay, we also have a family counselor. She has some
lot of the issues that I see. And one of the main things that drives me nuts is when I see issues between celebrity couples and everyone in the comments section of social media is loud and so wrong. Today, we're going to talk about DDG and Halle Bailey and the receipts that just dropped in their custody battle over their child. I hate to even talk about custody battles. This is why I no longer litigate and go to court over family law issues because, again, what you think the law may or may not do, depending on your own experiences and your own circumstances, is not how the law works. The law has to be consistent across the board, and they have to apply the same principles to every case. And at the top of that list of principles that they're applying is the best interest of the child standard, and that is going to be completely discretionary. But even in the court's ability to use their discretion, they have to apply certain basic principles across the board, right? If you're going to limit one parent's time with the child or take a child away from both parents, you have to consider certain things. And there are certain red flags and buzzwords that are always going to move the needle. One is if you are violent, especially domestically. Another is if you're addicted to drugs or you have an alcohol problem. Another one is if you haven't seen the child in a long time. But another one that people don't seem to be understanding in this particular circumstance is if you can show the other parent has mental health issues. I have had several cases dealing with one party requesting a domestic violence protection order. I have defended against claims of domestic violence and I have pursued claims of domestic violence. Everything that I'm saying here about DDG and Halle Bailey, completely alleged. I obviously wasn't there. I'm not saying one party is right or one party is wrong. I am simply trying to say to y'all that I see in the comments saying, oh, well, that's what he gets. I mean, she's just crashing out. I mean, he just pissed her off. He cheated on her. I understand all of that. But when you're dealing with the best interest of a child, you're not going to assess fault to one person or the other unless that fault is affecting the child, AKA cheating is honestly irrelevant. Hurtful, emotionally damaging, of course, not right in any way. But if it doesn't affect the kid, then we're not talking about it. The receipts that DDG just dropped are showing text messages. And in the message, the one most notable is at the very bottom here. I want to unalive because of you. That is what he's allegedly saying that Halle texted him when she was going off on a rant after finding out that he was unfaithful to her and that he wasn't giving her the level of communication or attention that she was requesting. Now, one thing I keep seeing in the comments is she's probably had postpartum depression. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. Again, we don't know these people personally. But even in having postpartum depression, that is a form of, I don't want to say, that does affect your mental health. Does it not? As a woman who has 2 children myself, it definitely affected my mental health. And I had to lean on my partner for an amount of time to help me with that and navigate it while we were raising our kids. But if that is the case, and she really did say that she wants to unalive herself, then the courts have to take that into consideration. It seems that everyone is just blowing off DDG's claims of her having mental health issues. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't, maybe she did in the past and she no longer does, but evidence has to show that. Everything has to be proven. It can't just simply be his claims have no merit because one celebrity is favored over the other. Now, I'm a big Halle Bailey Sisters fan. I've seen them live in concert. Oh, chef's kiss, they're phenomenal. I'm also a fan of DDG. I just learned about streaming. I'm an auntie now, so I'm just now getting into that. But my point is that what they're trying to get to from a legal basis is Halle requested a restraining order against him for whatever reason. I haven't seen those documents. Now, and him trying to combat that restraining order, and some say stand up for himself. I don't know if that's what it is, but rebunk any claims of him being a bad father. He is fighting back by saying, and she has domestic violence issues or she has mental health issues. By saying that she wanted to off herself, that is going to be taken very seriously in the court of law. By saying that he is domestically violent towards her, that is going to be taken very seriously in the court of law. Both people have standing claims here, guys. There's not just one side that's stronger over the other based off popularity or based off of, oh, he has a better image than she has. You have to consider all of these things when you're talking about custody, family court, and a child's best interest.
Yeah, so basically what she's saying there is all you bitches are claiming that Holly is just going through postpartum and this a perfectly logical excuse for why she's doing all these things and why she's so abusive and crazy and wants to off herself and kill herself and do all of these things. For the people who are saying that there's logical explanations for that, that's cool. But it also gives DDG a pretty good case and plenty of evidence to say that this woman is mentally unstable. And she has no right to have unilateral decisions over what my child does, because when she does have that power, she does not use it properly. She doesn't use it properly. When she does have a seemingly inkling of power or whatever, when it comes down to, yeah, she doesn't use it properly. So what we need to do is have this thing 50-50. She can do what she want to do on her time, and I'm going to do what I want to do on my time. And that second part is the part that Holly can't stand. It's just that simple. She can't stand it. So should we even get to it? I at this point, Joe Budden's podcast. I'll say this: we know that these are Rock Nation puppets. Okay, Joe has disappointed me. Joe has disappointed me, and he kind of played his hand with how they're doing, things. Now they got Melissa Ford here running interference for DDG or Holly Bailey, and I guess calling DDG out for weaponizing his base against Holly.
Idea what anybody's take is regarding this, so I'd love to hear it. I know Mel.
I feel like the only reason why we know any of this is because he is constantly online talking about it, and after the breakup.
Already. This is why I say you niggas are out of touch. It's time for you to pass the torch, you old ass fucking niggas. You just get me tight listening to you. Oh, he gets online. He never stops talking about it. Bitch, he literally can't. He literally can't talk about it. What the fuck are you talking about already? We are 18 seconds in. You already saying some bullshit. 18 seconds in. You already done said a whole lie. Why do you have a podcast? Why do y'all niggas get on these podcasts and shit, have podcasts and shit, and y'all don't do y'all research about the topics you're going to talk about? Is that something just that I do? Where did I learn that from? Like, what am I doing wrong? Is it not proper to research the topics that you're going to talk about? Bitch, do you know what you're talking about? Like,
breakup being completely disparaging of her making his claims, et cetera, et cetera. Also, when he went on, when he started talking about the fact that she was, preventing him from seeing Halo, he did this on his streaming platform with his millions of viewers, creating like a hashtag free Halo. What does that do? That encourages your audience to go to her and start bullying her without any of the facts other than the ones that you just presented, which are up for fucking debate. Whoever's right, whoever's wrong, it really is. It's gotten so fucking messy. Nobody even knows. But my stance is he comes off as being so fucking wildly stressful to deal with after you've just had a baby. I'm standing 10 toes down on Hallie's side. I don't even have to have all the facts. The fact of the matter is
What did I just get finished telling you, motherfuckers? Bitch said I don't even have to have all the facts. I'm standing 10 toes down on Hallie's side. You bitches don't make sense. You see, did you not hear what I just finished telling niggas? I just finished telling you niggas that females do not care about nuance. They don't care about your nuance. They don't care about you trying to look at both sides, and that's the bullshit that she's saying right now. Oh, we got to look at both sides, but then immediately contradicts herself. Huh? Hello? Like, what are you talking about? If you're not immediately taking their side, kissing their ass, then you're a problem. You're not protecting women. If you're sitting here looking at this shit, scratching your head, and being like, well, this all doesn't sound right. And just look at the perspective she's coming from. She's coming from the perspective of he's getting online every day talking about this, making this stressful for her. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, she's playing these games, not letting you see your son, doing a whole bunch of weird shit, saying she's gonna kill herself. And the fact that he said, out of all the shit that he could have said, the fact that the only thing that he did say was, I just want to see my son. And you're mad about that, bitch? Like, are you fucking good? Why do you have shades on? Did you just come from a freak off or something? A hotel night? What's good with you? What's going on in your head? What are you not getting? Why don't you old ass motherfuckers with these podcasts and shit like that do any research on what the fuck you're talking about? You just get online and flap your dick suckers. The fuck?
She had a baby.
That's
she has
on brand.
No,
Shocker. Yeah. Plot twist with
it's
this.
because that's just
I don't
how
think
I
you're
feel.
wrong, by the way.
I
Some
think
of your reasoning, maybe. It all seems like messy shit to me.
it is very messy shit, but at the end of the day, you have a young girl who's trying to manage a career, manage a relationship, have a baby, and then, there's debates on how long postpartum actually lasts, but it ain't 6 to fucking 8 weeks. It's a really long time for women to start feeling any semblance of fucking normalcy.
Like she said, it could be
And
up to
she's in the
7
public eye. She has a baby daddy who's going to the fucking world to get a sense of validation or to get them to agree with him. Like, that is wildly stressful. So maybe she did have a manic, episode where she's saying a bunch of fucked up things in text. Why is she being judged on her worst moments when she is in the most vulnerable fucking?
Is that not what we're doing with DDG? We filed the restraining order. What? Why do women be sitting here thinking they cooking, saying shit like this, and you don't make no fucking sense? Why should we judge her at her worst moments? We do that shit to everybody every fucking day. What the fuck are you talking about? We judge niggas on their worst moments every fucking day. So, bitch, this is not new. The fuck are you talking about? This dumbass bitch. Oh, my God.
State, and that is why I'm going to be on her side. And also, he wants to file a restraining order. Child, she filed one first and was granted. She don't want to be around you. This is the same motherfucker that went to her house.
She don't want to be around you? Melissa Ford did not click. Fuck opening it up. She didn't even click a link to this counterclaim, this counter lawsuit or restraining order. She didn't click and read not one letter of that document. Again, people, these are the leading voices in hip hop. These are the leading voices of the culture. Get them the fuck out of here. Joe Budden included, nigga. You niggas are not willing to talk. You niggas are not willing to speak up to power, to people who are fucking over the industry. You're not willing to tell the truth about shit that we can see with Ray Charles' eyes. You're not accurate with your information. You don't do research. You don't prepare yourself for the show. What are people listening to you niggas for? What are y'all here for? What are y'all still continuing to listen to Joe Budden, The Breakfast Club? Like, what are y'all niggas not getting? These niggas are not willing to speak on certain shit or call shit accurately or down the middle. This is when it's time to get them the fuck out of here. They are nothing to the culture. They're nothing to the culture. They're nothing to us. Their opinions, their words, they mean nothing. It should start to mean less and less every time motherfuckers like this open up their mouth. This is crazy.
keeps going to her house unannounced, breaks into her house, takes a picture of her bed to let her know that he is inside your house and can get in your house whenever you want, and then rips out the camera systems? How fucking safe does this girl feel?
There's a lot of
Allegedly.
okay.
Allegedly.
One thing, his order was, what he filed was so that she can't take the baby to Italy for that time.
Mhm.
Yeah, like not trying to be around her or keep her away from him. It's just, I don't want you to take my son. That's what he was filing.
There's a lot of situations, is there anybody on this show that read any of this shit? Is there anybody on here that can check her and read any of this shit? Like, it's about 6 or 7 of y'all. Nobody read these documents?
Don't take the text message serious. That something end up happening to the child. We've seen that a lot of times, whether it's when it comes to domestic issues.
They say, the signs were right there.
The signs were right there. So him filing this restraining order based off of the text message that she's been sending him is the right move for him to do.
I'd like to challenge a few of the things that you said.
Okay.
Good. Who, Mel?
Yeah. In terms of weaponizing a fan base to bully you,
they're both doing that.
They both are doing that.
I don't see how she's done it.
Now we let you get a runway to get all of your shit off. Let's have the conversation without us triggering one another. Because I'm not trying to trigger nobody. And please don't trigger me. And this topic could be triggering.
It's very triggering.
I done been through every aspect of this. The second that she left him, fan bases were weaponized. Because you had the Disney girl, the Beyonce girl, the clean sister.
Nigga said the moment she left him, the bitch sat by while niggas were calling for her baby dad to die. Okay? Before they split. She never said a word. Again, you niggas need to do your research so that you can speak more accurately to what's going on.
Act girls fan base saying, yo dog, you lucked up, she should have never been with you, you's a bum, you clout chasing, every chance you get, you mentioning a baby, you mentioning her, she don't want you. That was a thing. That was a real thing. I'm saying this as somebody.
Fam, it went on up here. We got into an argument about DDG.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He's
we
right.
did. We got into an argument about DDG. You took Chloe's side. You took Haley's side. We took DDG's side. We got into an argument about DDG. So it's not like he was the person that was throwing out the bully shit and she was just on the receiving end of that.
Yeah,
that's not true. Both of their fan bases were weaponized.
She did not weaponize hers. She couldn't. Just let me say this one thing. Just one thing, and then y'all got it. No.
Oh my
Holy shit.
You're gonna
how many times
Go
have they hijacked dog piled on me? One time. I just want to say this one thing.
Go ahead.
She did not weaponize her fan base. And furthermore, everybody's saying that he's a clown, stay away from him, blah, blah. She didn't listen. She followed her own heart. That was the man she wanted. She chose. She had a baby with him. She did not listen to anybody. So she did not weaponize her fan base. They made their own assumptions. He went on streaming.
Now you're off a tangent. Can you not respond to each point that we're about to make the same way we did with you? That's all I'm asking.
Right.
I have more of your points that I'd like
she
to
don't
challenge.
even with that weaponization point, the artists sometimes don't have to say
go do it.
Yeah.
They don't have to do that.
If nothing else, we've proven that both of them played part in the weaponization of fan bases. 1. 2, in terms of things being made public and why they are made public, they're playing courthouse games.
True indeed.
Courthouse games is not only where things become public, but it's where both parties go to say the worst of the worst about the other. So unfortunately, these stories, the break-in stories, they're public because they're court filings. 3, she played her hand in some of this being public when she vehemently was against the kid going to Constant's house.
And put that out.
And
hello, Mel, where you at, Mel? Where you at, Mel? Say something.
Put it out.
Stupid.
So
bitch.
all I'm saying is, at the start,
she didn't recognize her fan base. She never did anything. She did. Bitch, what are you talking about? Do you pay attention? Are you online? The fuck are you?
2 young people that are engaging in the messiness of a breakup after a baby.
That's fair.
Like my thing, and I'm not on anybody's side. Again, I think the child is the real recipient of
All this
the
bullshit.
negativity.
Yeah.
But I don't understand, to Joe's point, how you could say, yo, I don't want my kid around Kasana or on the stream or anything of that sort, but you are electing to take my kid across to a whole different country outside of me.
I thought
that's totally.
I think that's very, very different.
I think that's different personally. A lot of shit goes on on these streams. It'd be girls. It'd be a lot of shit going on the streams. Me her taking a kid with her to work in another, just happens to be in another country. You don't know, you can have a nanny, you got whatever over there with you. I'm not subjecting the kid to anything necessarily.
Supposedly.
You don't know that.
Wait.
That's supposedly.
Wait.
That's supposedly.
Wait. You can't do that without my consent.
No,
I don't give a fuck if you got a nanny and you got the best condition. You cannot do that without my consent. We know that as dads.
What I don't like to do is this.
Depending on how.
But isn't that what the restraining order says?
That's not necessarily depending on what's set up.
The restraining order basically says she has sole
Yeah,
custody.
if she got
so
sole,
if she wants
she
to make
can
that
do that.
decision, she can do that.
I don't know. That's not true.
That is incorrect.
I don't know that to be true.
That is incorrect. You are wrong.
Does she have? I don't know what they.
You
got.
cannot do whatever you want just because you have sole custody.
You can't
That's
do
incorrect.
that.
I've been through it.
I know that y'all want to fucking. It's the erasure of father rights around here.
You know,
but you cannot take this baby. No, you can't.
It's not true. And my thing is this, and I hate that this point gets overlooked. Fam, you had enough discernment to lay down and have a baby with this man, right?
Yes.
We are electing this man to be the father of your child.
Can I pause you right there for a second and add to what you're saying? Maybe messy, but it is being spoken about. He convinced her to have the baby. She said, I'm having an abortion. No, that's part of listen, there's another side to this that paints her as being emotionally manipulative, and I think that is what he filed in his court filings. And I'm not even going to continue to speak to that. I can speak to how a dad moved when he want the kid.
Yes.
That's what I can speak to.
If I was on the Joe Budden podcast during this episode, I'd have been eating. What's the girl? I'd have been eating her lunch. I'd have been eating all these niggas' lunch, nigga. I'm sorry, nigga. You can't just say bullshit around me. You just can't say bullshit around me. I'd have put all that shit to rest. The shit would have been quiet, nigga. I would have eviscerated her. I'm sorry, nigga.
Is there proof of her making that statement?
No,
Yes.
it's not proof of some
It's
of the
not proof
stuff
of a lot of
you
this shit,
allege
though.
neither.
Okay.
But we talking
We're
about
alleging.
this.
Well, I think that
We'll talk to our fact checker, Jeremy.
Yeah, well,
Fam, what I'm saying is this,
please
a different
fact check that. If there's any proof, written proof that she said she was going to have an abortion and he convinced her to have the baby. Because if not, then that is just his word against hers, and that's
Again, why don't these niggas look at tech? Why don't these niggas do research about the shit that they speaking on? What the fuck? You niggas haven't seen text messages and shit? Like, what did y'all niggas do? Just scroll on Twitter and say, all right, let's talk about this? The fuck? These niggas is crazy.
nasty.
You know what there is written proof of?
We can't do that though. We
You know
can't
what
do
there
that.
is
You
written
can't
proof
say
of?
it's written proof of this, but we don't have written proof of that. And the things that we don't have written proof
No, I'm just
of.
talking about text messages. Since
No,
you
but
wanted
you
to put them
didn't
out.
bring up
You didn't bring up written
when
proof
he
of-
broke in the house
Yeah,
and yada
we
yada
don't have
yada.
written proof
We
or
don't
proof
have
of
proof of
those
these
things
things.
He took a picture of her bed.
So he
What
could
does
have
that
took
mean?
that picture 9 years ago.
He let her know that I'm in your house. I can take a picture of your. I'm taking a picture
You're
of your
getting
bed.
that from a
It's
police
okay.
report,
It's
Mel,
okay.
is what
I'm
we're
not.
saying. But anyway,
So what I was
Jeremy, let
saying-
us know when
Hold
you
on.
have facts.
It doesn't seem like
All of these niggas are just stupid.
there's any public record of her saying that. DDG said in an interview, "We weren't aiming for a baby. It kind of happened. What are we gonna do?" He said, "She."
You reading off of this is your fact checker researcher guy. You reading off of fucking interviews and shit like that when the nigga put in the whole 164 page document how the relationship started, where it went wrong, and how it ended. You niggas don't have to do all of this. You niggas are stupid. This is why niggas step to me and they start talking this dumb shit in my fucking face. It gets me upset because you niggas literally can just read. You can just read and do your research. It's really not that hard.
Always wanted to be a mom and I always wanted a kid. So from there, we just made a decision to go through it. I don't know if there's any public record of her saying that.
Bro, this,
on the
the point I was making is something different.
Got it.
The point I was making is, the second that we elect to have a child, right? Let's just say, for all intents and purposes, it was agreed upon mutually.
I'm sure it was.
You now can't, when we break up, say, yo, that bitch is a bum mom. I ain't never want to have a baby with her. I don't want her to be alone with my kid. You elected to have a child.
Again, that's not what he's saying. They're just talking about some nonsense because none of these niggas do any research whatsoever. Okay? So let's go ahead and move on. Let's get to the Diddy stuff, obviously, and spend a little bit of time on that. Just recapping, catching up. As I said, I've been here in Atlanta. So if you're just joining us, I've had a little bit going on as far as that goes. So I've been a little bit out of the loop as far as the trial. But let's get to that next, okay? Let's go ahead and get to the Diddy stuff. If it'll let me. No, I'm not. Obviously, I'm not in the Doja room, so things are moving a little different here. But it just takes a little longer. This takes a tad bit longer, but it's okay. Let's wrap this up here. Okay, so let's get to this Diddy stuff real quick and just update you guys on what's going on here. So when I do come back on Tuesday, well, I should have a recap for you guys tomorrow as well. So it just won't be a live show. We'll start back with the live shows on Tuesday morning, and tomorrow will just probably be another recap. But so stay tuned for that if you've been here watching and keeping up with the Diddy trial stuff with me. Okay, so as I said, it's to our understanding that 50 Cent's baby mom, she took the stand. Okay, and let's just catch us up to today. Long story short, this was one of Diddy's girlfriends. Okay, she dated him from about 2001, I believe, till 2021. I'm sorry, to 2024. Okay, now this woman, and I believe this is 50 Cent's baby mother again. I'm not going to do that because it's too much to pull up the pictures and stuff like that. But this woman, 50 Cent's baby mother, apparently, she met Diddy while on a yacht having a yacht party or something like that. And the homegirl was actually dating her at the time. Okay, so her homegirl was dating Diddy. She starts messing with Diddy, and eventually her and Diddy, they start dating. Now, like I said, out of everybody who's came up to the stand, this is the person who seems like she's had the most fun with Diddy, and she's had a different experience, wildly different, at least how she presents it. She's had a wildly different experience from Cassie. She didn't suffer any of the abuse again that Cassie did, and she pretty much, it would seem like she would kind of do whatever she wants. Now, if you haven't realized that Diddy's an info in this case, while reading and keeping up with it, he is. And so in my opinion, he's been smashing and bagging all the bitches that's been around him, from assistants to this, that, almost everybody that we've seen come on stand. Okay, she is one of them, and it would seem like she kind of thought and looked at herself as maybe someone who could eventually get into a Cassie position or a Kim Porter position or even a Young Miami position, because her time with Diddy and Young Miami's time definitely overlap. Okay, so Diddy spent a lot of time fucking. I don't know when he would be working or when he would be, doing anything, but bro spent a lot of time fucking. I don't really know how much time he had for work. Well, it seems like he had a lot of people to work for him. Okay, once you got enough money, you can kind of do that kind of thing. So, it was unfortunate that she had to come to that conclusion, but it seems like this Jane Doe was just basically one of them girls for him. Okay, he would even they would even detail how he would pay for her, give her 10,000 a month, to pay for her expenses and keep her house in order, things like that. And she, like I said, it seems like she pretty much enjoyed her experience in her time with Diddy. So let's get into day 18 in a little bit of what they did there. It just says, what about the screenshot from the text between Miss Ventura and Miss Coran? Now, it seems like they are setting up to bring KK in and perhaps even paint her as somebody who was complicit in Diddy's actions and complicit in this RICO, or this empire of sex that Combs apparently had. Okay, so let's get into the trial. Let's get into the witnesses and what they're trying to do here. Okay, he said, bring in the jury and the witness. So Miss Comey, she says, good morning, and how many times did you travel to Las Vegas? She said, once on Sean's plane. He was hosting an event. Then he wanted entertainment for the night. We had that. They said, what do you mean? He said, and entertained, we had sex. They said, what did going off the grid mean? She said, getting free. Did Sean call you a freak? They asked. And she says, yes. He wanted me to be be wild and sexual. They said, did you ask Sean if the entertainers could wear condoms? She said, yes. That first time with Don and another, Sean guilty tripped me out of it. It was something he wanted to see. What was his tone? She said, condescending. And basically, when she means what was his tone, he would just be like, damn, like, you really need a condom? Like, I thought you was really a freak. Like, I thought you was really, like, kind of saying shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Did he say he did not want the entertainer to wear a condom? She said he did not want to see a rubber. Did you raise it? Did you raise it ever when sober and not in a hotel room? She said yes. Was this ever recorded? She says yes. One that I'm aware of. I'm trying to ask the entertainer if he can wear a condom. He's looking for it. They said, I'd like to call up this next exhibit with an aide. Did you listen to this? She said yes. Did you read the transcript that's up on the screen? She said yes again. Let's start at 8 minutes and 20 seconds. When you said, I think they've in the chair, what are you referring to? She said condoms. I think they're in the chair. It's a little typo. What did you understand what Sean meant when he said you were just taking that dick? Holy. She said that we already had intercourse. And when he said, if you don't touch yourself right now, was he saying, she said to just move on. Why did you think you needed permission from Sean for the man having sex with your body wear a condom? They said objection, it was overruled. It's a sidebar. They have a sidebar. They're back. They say, why did you say no? Why did you not say no? She said he'd get agitated. How would intercourse with an entertainer end? She said he'd finish on me. They said, then what? She said, then we'd have sex, me and Sean. Would you clean up the ejaculation? She said no. They asked, why not? She said, Sean liked it. To play around with it. Holy. Then what? They say. She said, I take a shower and get ready for the next one. They said, typically how many rounds? They said, objection, was overruled. She said, every entertainer was different. Some 3. They asked, would decided if you could stop when you were tired? I guess they meant, would you decide if you could stop when you were tired? I guess that's what he meant to say. She says, Sean, and then she sobs. They said, do you need a moment? She sobs again. She says, I'm sorry. What was your question? They says, how did you say you wanted him to stop? She said, I say like I'm hungry, make little faces. I'd sent him subtle cues. What would he say? That he say, you're not getting tired on me, are you? Let's go out and let's go out on a high note. Let's finish strong. Whoa. Then she says, what would Sean give you to keep you awake and having sex with the entertainer? She said, ecstasy. Did you ever cry after one of these hotel nights? She said, twice. They said, tell us about the first. She said, I thought it was a date night, one-on-one. But he said there would be an entertainer, but just a quick one. I hung on to that, but 18 hours, and after 18 hours and 3 rounds with the entertainer, Sean said he had to leave, and I started crying. So Sean basically said, hey, we just about to, we're going to have a little hotel night. And she's thinking, oh, I thought it was a date night. I thought it was just me and you. He's like, nah, we're going to have a little hotel night. It's nothing serious. 18 hours later, he looks at her and be like, all right, I got to go. It's time for me to get to work. Got my little, you know what I'm saying? And the woman starts crying. And again, she truly feels like, I guess, she should be in that realm with Diddy as far as the whole girlfriend boyfriend things goes. It seems like she truly felt that she was working for that position. You know what I'm saying? It seems like that. It seems like she had a more genuine connection with Diddy. One that she didn't have as a volatile relationship. She didn't have as such a volatile relationship with him. Okay. I'm over here trying to keep up with this. There's so much shit going on around Trump and Elon and all of that. We didn't get to that, by the way, but Trump and Elon are beefing. And once I do a little bit more research and can fully lay out the details, we'll do a little video on that. But Trump and Elon are beefing. Apparently it's still going today. So she says, were you with someone else? She says, I was with Sean. It was in the Wanderloft in Beverly Hills early in our relationship. They said, what did Sean say? He said, are you crying? Like looking disgusted. Then he just sat there listening to music. I was clinging to him. He said he could just move things around with family and I could go home with him. I just wanted to be in his arms after all of that. And the second time, she said, I was in the shower after one of these nights. She says, and then she stops. They said, is your memory spotty? What do you remember? She said, I was so high. I was having sex with Paul. Then I was in the shower with Sean. He said, stop it. I'm too high. Stop. They said, Paul? She said, one of the entertainers. Were these hotel nights work for you? They said, objection, it was overruled. She said, it was work from start to finish. What did you do to try to get them to end sooner? She said, I tried to have sex with the entertainers first. What did you do to try to speed things up? She said, I do more foreplay and bring them into the room. Sean would say, slow it down, more foreplay. They said, what would he use? They said, time frame. Objection to time frame. They says, judge says that fair. May to October 2023. They said May to 21 to October of 2023. What would Sean say? He'd say, I'm not ready to see that yet. He said, how would you feel? They have a sidebar. They come back. They said, how did you feel again? She said, I'd want to be with Sean at the end. Where would you go? They asked. They said, to his residence. Was there any part of these hotels nights you enjoyed? She said, being with Sean. Would he text him? Oh, I guess she meant, would you text him? They said, she said, to say I love you. Did you text that you wanted to have sex? She said, yes, with him. Did you text him you wanted to have sex with others? She said, yes, it was his fantasy. Did you tell you want to text? She said, yes. Did he tell you what to text? Yes. He asked, what do you want? Be explicit. Why did you write things? She said, I wanted to make my lover happy. Inner City Presses. He's wilding on today. Bro's typing like, I don't know. Look at this one. From November 9th to 2021. What did you write? Would you write? She said, I wrote, I'm horny for you. They said, you don't have to read this, but did you write, I want to suck Paul's dick? Why did you write that? She said, I knew it would turn Sean on. She said, who's Paul? She said, an entertainer. So you texted him you wanted to stop having hotel nights. She said, yes. Let's get into more of it. What did you write here? She says, I'm so much more that being left in the dark of a hotel room, my heart is breaking. I don't want to play this role in your life anymore. I feel it's the only reason you pay for the house. We need to talk like adults. They said, how long had Sean been paying for your rent? She said, 5 months or so. Did you see drugs in the hotel room? They said, overruled. They said, objection, it was overruled. She said, ecstasy, Molly, cocaine, pink powder, which I believe was Tusi. And who gave them to you? She said, Sean. Did you ever see any of the entertainers taking drugs? She said, no. That was my one rule. I told them they couldn't take drugs. I didn't want them to be out of control while they were with me. How did ecstasy make you feel? She said, sexual energy. What did you feel when you take these drugs? She said, otherwise, why did you feel you had to take these drugs is what they asked. She said, otherwise it would be too real. I wanted to, I don't know, feel like it would make things earlier. Or, I don't know what he meant by that. Did you ever do hotel nights without drugs? She said, twice. Once with Paul. Why didn't you take drugs that time? She says, I didn't want to do that to my body. But it felt too real. So I asked Sean for a pill. They asked, did he give it to you? She said, yes, I felt better. They said, the second time? He said, my partner was taking too many pills. He said, I'll do 30 days without drugs, but let's have one last sobriety party at the La Hermitage. How long did it last? She said 18 hours again. Too long. What happened? She said the second guy, I was not feeling well. I threw up. I told Sean I'd just thrown up. They said, what did he say? What did you say? Or what did he say? He said, that's good. Now you're ready for the third guy. He's here. They said, how did you feel? She said, I was just disgusted. I was just repulsed. I was just too mad to myself. I was mad I had let myself get into this. They said, this would be a good place for a break. And the judge says, I agree. It said, back to the Jane and the jury. Said, did Sean ever run out of drugs during a hotel night? She said, yes. What happened? She said he would call one of the assistants or butlers to bring more drugs, sometimes his security. They asked, what assistants? They said, Brendan, Frank, John. Let me show you a photo of Brendan, not shown into the gallery screen. She said, that's him. He would bring pill bottles. Then there would be cocaine, weed. Who from security did he call for drugs? They said Fahim. Sean called him Fa. Who else bought drugs? She said, Guido. He bought mostly ecstasy, Molly, and Xanax, and Coke. Did you take Xanax? She said, yes, after I put Sean to sleep. Did you ever carry drugs for Sean? She says, yes, from LA to Miami. KK told me I'll have security come out and give you the package. I asked, is it safe and okay? What did KK tell you? She said, it's fine. I do it all the time. Where did you and Sean have the package? She said, in the bathroom of the 2-star. He opened it, and then I saw a colorful pill. They said, I don't want you to assume. Did you take the pills? She said, yes. For a hotel night, it was ecstasy. They come back and ask, did you move drugs for Sean another time? She said, yes, in my luggage from LA to Miami. There, Sean and I used them. They were ecstasy. They come back and ask, before May, on October 21, who reached out to the entertainers? She said, Sean. Then who? She said, me. Why did you start choosing? She says, I didn't want to just be a stranger. She basically said, I didn't want to have these strangers out coming. Sean would be just inviting 3 niggas that I don't never even know. I don't even like. They probably don't look good. She's probably not attracted to him, making the job a little harder. She says, I didn't want to be a stranger. I assessed the dynamic of our relationship. We were walking porn, and I saw a performer and said, that one. Why did you want to choose? She says, I couldn't get away from this. Why couldn't you? He wasn't beating your ass. Who did you choose? She said, Sly Williams. Sly Williams. It's all one name. She said, I called him chef or chief. Or chef. He had a passion for cooking. What were you and Sean doing? She said, having sex on ecstasy. We started talking about Sly's size. Sean was acting all flirtatious about it. I sent Sly a message over Instagram. They said, did he respond? He said, yes. I told him I was a fan of his work. Maybe we should meet up one day. He said, we did a FaceTime. Sean was there. What happened? He said, it got hot and steamy. I asked him to show me himself. They said, he showed you his genitals? She said, yes. And I was casting from my phone to Sean's television. So Sean was watching the whole thing. I saw Sean. I told Sean I would arrange his flight. I booked it online on Expedia. Sean paid me back. What happened? He said he was cute and sweet. He was nervous too. It was my first time. They said, first time what? She said, contacting an adult film star. I had told him it was me and my partner. He said, fine. They said, what hotel? She said, La Emmerich, I believe. She said it was routine. The oils would come out. I'd be in a uniform. I'd dance, then sex. What was Sean doing? She said, masturbating. Said, then who invited him the next times? She said, I did. I would suggest Sly. He was familiar to me. Where else did you meet Sly? She said, the Trump Hotel. The Trump Hotel in New York, she said? She said, yes. She said, yes, I would book his flights from Atlanta. And you paid him afterwards? She said, yes. $2,000 to $4,000. Where from? They said, objection. I'm guessing it was overruled because they said, where did the cash to pay Sly come from? She says, Sean, from the drawer. Sometimes we used Cash App. Were there a second adult film entertainer you reached out to? She said, yes, Anton. I think Anton Harris. It was his stage name. I don't know his real name. She said, we were watching Anton's film and I was really into him. I messaged him on Instagram. He was in LA. I invited him over. They said, how did Anton respond? She said, positively. We were in my first residence. They asked, what happened? She said the same. Sean watched, happy. Did you see Anton again? She said, yes, sometimes at hotels in LA, sometimes in my apartment. Did you FaceTime with Anton and Sly? She said yes, when Sean and I were alone having sexy times. Why would Sean call them? He wanted something live. I was doing sexting, FaceTiming, and screen sharing to Sean's TV. I told Sly and Anton I was alone so they would feel comfortable. Did you ask Sly and Anton to send you pictures of their genitals? She said yes. Sean wanted them. He would say, "Get it." Did Anton or Sly ever send you photos of their genitals when you were not with Sean? She says, yes, I was polite and flirtatious, but not as flirtatious as I am with Sean. Did you ever see Anton or Sly in person without Sean? She said, no. Are these your texts with Sly? Let me show you. She said, I was asking for explicit photos or videos for him. That's what my partner wanted. They said, what did Sly say? She said, he said, I'm down. What did you say? She says, I wrote, I'm touching myself. Then, what's your full name and DOB? God the fuck? They said, why is that? Why that? She said, to book his travel information. That's wild to say right after I'm touching myself. Then you say, what's your full name and date of birth? It's wild. Okay. And they say, what did you write? She said she's booking Jen was November 9th, 2021, the flight. And then here, you got somebody putting out here, just so you guys can see, it says 50 Cent's ex Daphne Joy. This is Jane. Daphne Joy. Allegations in sex trafficking lawsuit against Diddy is 100% false, they're saying. 50 Cent, she says that they're false. She trying to act like it ain't her. Baby, we see you. We see you, baby. Don't do that. They asked, when you received these explicit images, were you alone? She says, yes. I sent a Blander message. Then he texted me in April 2022, hello, beautiful, how's your day? They asked, why did Jess book the flight? She said, I was too high to type. He's the better entertainer. They said other entertainers? She said Paul and Don. Sean coordinated others. Said between May 2021 and October 2023, how often were the hotel nights? She said every other week. Often, every other week, So damn. This nigga just didn't stop. This nigga, like I said, I don't understand when homie had time to work. This is why it probably was just so easy for him to back off from Revolt and companies and things like that. Because if you spent as much effort as you done spent fucking my boy, you know, it'll probably be a little bit different for you. Get what jump outright backstage. Okay, something is going on with Keyshawn. Let me just see one more thing before we keep on going. Because there's a lot going on right now. I'm just trying to keep up. Okay. It seems like Trump is not going as hard on Elon anymore, but I'm here. Like I said, I'm going to keep you guys updated with that. Let's continue. It's a lot of weird shit trending today. After February 2024, where did this happen? She said a 2-star in LA. In LA, in the LA resident you were still living in? She said yes. After February 2024. She said maybe 5 times. How many different men? She says, I don't know. Let's talk about some. Who's this? She said, Don. They said last name, and I'm guessing she gave the last name. She says, I only saw Don in Miami. They say, who's this? She says, Paul. When was the last time? She says, end of July, 2024. Before that, very often. What did you think Paul did? She says, a personal trainer for Sean in LA, Miami, and Turks. How did Paul get there? She said, he'd book his own travel or he'd already be there. They said, who's this? A man named Leo. I met him through Sean for one of these nights. I met him on my birthday. She said, last time? She said, 2023. Where did you see Leo? She said, in LA. What else did you call him? Italian. Who's this? She said, a guy Sean brought into the night in 2021. They asked what happened. She said, Sean said he had someone coming over. I was repulsed. He looked sweaty. He didn't look nice. He kind of smelled. They said, what did you do? She said, I tried to make it work. I tried to seduce him with my body. He just kept sweating too much. I looked at my partner. I'm not feeling this. I was in lingerie and heels. What was he wearing? She said, nothing. Sean said, do you want to taste it? I said, I'm not feeling this. What did Sean do? She asked. He laid me down and started having sex with me. They said, where was the man? She said, hovering over me. He was sweating on me. The fuck? They said, then what? Sean told me to look at the man's private part, but it wasn't happening. Sean told him, no worries, and the man left. They said, then what? Sean told me he had someone else coming, Paul. I was blindfolded. Sean wanted me to touch him. Said, I took a liking to Paul. I was more comfortable. I thought he was handsome and nice, and we had a warm energy. Man, Carisha didn't know what she was getting into. See, Carisha was just on the little freak off. She got the shades on and shit like that, and she's probably on a little drugs, but I don't think she knows. Year after year, week after week, this man was never going to stop. He was never going to stop. He was going to wear you the fuck out. Just wear you the fuck out. He said, did you want to have sex with him? She said no. But if I had to have sex with someone, I guess it was not so bad that it was with Paul. They said, what's this? It's a photo of a name named Michael. I saw him twice in 2022 or 2023. In the edition, Los Angeles. Sean said something knew was coming. Then, like just a bit later, Sean was having a small talk with this guy on the balcony. He invited me out. I thought Michael was attractive. He was from a website. They said, who's this? I don't know his name. I met him on my birthday in 2023, one of these nights. They said, what happened? She said, Sean told me to come to Miami. We would be alone. He was so sweet. We were eating sushi and at Nobu in the hotel. Sean said, we have entertainment. I gulped and said, entertainer? What did he say? He said, it's your birthday. I just accepted it. They said, why? She said, I don't know. Upstairs, this man comes in. It was routine. She says, I am like a robot. I am getting the guy comfortable, and she starts crying. They said, do you need a break, Jane? You seem like you were robotic. What do you mean? She says, I've done so many of these. I can just tune out. My partner likes to see. I just turn on this person. They said, what do you mean? You turn on another person. She says, a person who can just do this. They said, what happened? She said, I was much quicker with this person. I felt more like a stranger to me than anyone. I don't want to do this on my birthday. She said, I asked Sean for a condom. They said, where was he? He was behind this man. He gave me these dirty looks like, you better not ask for a fucking condom. I could just hear that. What else did you hear him say? They said, objection, it was overruled. I didn't want to sour the mood, she says. Why didn't you want to sour the mood, they asked. She cries. She says, I didn't want my partner unhappy with me. They asked, do you need a break? She says, no, I'm okay. What happened next, if you are ready to tell us? She said, Sean gave him a condom, but then walked away. He was so disappointed. The guy finished, I can't remember where. They said, what next? Said the man left. We switched rooms to a bigger suite. They said, and then what? Said Sean was more loving. He was a celebrity. No, he was celebratory. He had cake. He had cake there and balloons. Then Sly comes. Oh shit. She thought it was. She thought it was Diddy, her and Diddy time, one-on-one time, and he brings in the next. He brings in another. So, but Diddy got multiple rooms. He just got an escape room in every room, and you just walk in a room getting fucked. Walk from room to room getting fucked. And in one room, he got the damn birthday shit set up, the cake, the frosting, the balloons, and a naked ass nigga to fuck you over, all of that shit. I mean, come on. This nigga was going crazy. They said, then what did Sean say? He said that Don was coming too. No, I skipped it. They said, any talk? She said, no. It was just hours and hours of that. Pleasing this guy, doing so much, just doing all of it. Foreplay. Things I know my partner wants to see. Going back and forth. It was morning. They said, and then what would Sean say? That Don was coming. They said, what did you say? Nothing. Like that was fine. Like that it was fine, she said. They said, why? She said, I love my partner. They said, what did you do with Don? She said, sex. They said, let's break for lunch. And then they break for lunch. When they come back, they said, this afternoon we'll be showing some explicit exhibits, yada, yada, yada. It said, have you seen this man? Sean bought him in our hotel room in LA, she says. I was in a robe and lingerie. The whole wardrobe I usually had. They said, what happened in the next living room of the suite? She said, I knew this was something I could not fake. They said, what do you mean? She said, I was repulsed by him. I tried for 30 minutes. Then I told Sean, can I talk to you in the bedroom? There, I told him I can't. I tried, but no. I told Sean, I'm sorry. They said, how did Sean respond? She said, agitated. Then another man came. Said, did Sean talk to you first? She said, no. They asked, who's this? She said, a man I met in New York. I told him I didn't want to go to New York if it was just to set me up with a man. He said, no, one-on-one. So I went. They said, did you get Wi-Fi on the plane? She said, yes. Sean sent me a text. Said, do you want entertainment tonight? How did you feel? She said, disappointed. My thought of seeing my lover was shot down. They said, where did you go in New York? She said, the Trump Hotel. She said, I saw the assistant setting up the room with red lights for a hotel night. I took this photograph, not shown in the gallery, and she said, what happened? They asked. She said, I told Sean I don't want to do this. He was just like super defensive. On the way back to the room, Sean gave me a pill. They said, what was it? She said, I took it. The man was in the room. We had small talk. I let the man touch my leg a little bit. I took Sean to the bedroom and told or he took you to the bedroom and told her, I can't do this. Or she told Sean, I can't do this. How did Sean react? She said, agitated. I called another performer. They asked why. She said, it's hard. It's a hard question. At this point, what? That's a hard question at that point in their relationship. I knew that's where my partner would want. She said, Sean was paying your rent? She said, yes. Did he mention it at all? She says, they say objection. They say time frame. She said, they come back and ask, was this after Sean started paying your rent? She said, yes. I called Sly. He was excited. He flew to New York that night from Atlanta. They asked what happened. She said, it was nice. We had sex in front of Sean at the Trump Hotel. It was me and Sean. Had to go for our separate ways, but I didn't want Sly to feel we were just leaving him. So cash was brought to the front desk for him by an assistant. They said, which one? Joey. And his name? And this man? She said, I had sex with him in front of Sean. They said, in another? She said, a Spanish buff man. He was a bit odd. I felt he was pulling out this scene or this scent to smell during sex? I don't know. The fuck? In front of Sean? She said yes. Another? She said, a man who looked more European at Le Hermitage uh, was, we had sex twice. Again, I'm trying to read through all these typos, so you gotta bear with me, okay? It's a lot. Which entertainers did you see most often? She said Paul and Sly. Which ones did you reach out to? She says them, Anton, Don. Did you ever arrange hotel nights as a surprise for Sean? She says yes, twice, like Valentine's Day or the return from a trip. You saw Cash during these hotel nights. Where? She said drawer, nightstand. When Sean ran out of cash, what did he do? She said he made a phone call to get his security or assistance. KK, Cash, would appear. They said how much? She said a good amount. To whom did Sean hand cash? She said Paul, Don. He'd pay at the end. What would Sean say before he bought out this iPhone to record? She said nothing. Or it was just for me. Did Sean sometimes act different? She said sometimes happy, sometimes not. What directions would Sean give? To put the baby oil on the man, to touch myself. She said, when you knew the camera was on you, how did you react? And she comes back and answers, it was just a part of it. They asked, did Sean ever record you while not on drugs? She said no. Did you ever act like you enjoyed it? She says yes. They said why? She said, I wanted to put on a good show. What fantasy talk did you engage in? She said so much. Role play, a fantasy. She said, I'm sorry, there's just so many memories. He would create characters. This nigga was on his directing shit. I am going to show you some exhibits, not on the council screens. She says, how is this? She says, or who is this, I'm guessing? She says, me and Don. The next one is me and Sly. She says, they asked this. She said, me and Paul. Then it's me and Leo. Anton and myself. Was Sean present for all of these? She says, yes. I wore stripper shoes the whole time. What would happen with the baby oil? She said it would drip down in the shoes. I would try to keep my balance. God damn. Did Sean ask you to get your nipples pierced? She said yes. I said it would turn him on. Who set up the piercings appointment? She said KK. Then they got caught on my lingerie and my nipple got infected. I took them off. They said, what did Sean say? He said, where are my piercings? This is the last time I see you without them. They said, did your back hurt? She says, yes, from bending over so much. God damn. Where else did you get a sore? She said, my vajayjay. Did you tell Sean? She says, no. They asked, why not? She said, I just didn't want to indicate any negativity. They said, why did you keep going? She said, I'm not sure. They have a sidebar. They come back and they say, do you have an estimate of how much times you told Sean you didn't want to keep having these hotel nights? She says, I don't have an estimate. They said, did you write? She says, yes. And sometimes I'd have the courage to text it to Sean. What did you see in your text messages? That I had been texting since 2021, how I felt. What's this? And they show her a text exhibit that's not on screen. She said, November 2021, I felt jealous. I saw he was doing things with another woman on their IG stories. Now, who could she be possibly talking about? Maybe Gina, maybe most likely Carisha. I think it's Carisha. Why did you feel jealous if you knew he was dating other women? She said, I came to do hotel nights with Don and Sly. Then he gives quality time to another woman. They said in this text, she says, I wrote, I need a breather and a break from you. They said, play this exhibit. And it's a voice note. In Combs' voice, she says, she asked me to work out. This is the time you're gonna be cursing at me. I don't have a bunch of guy friends. Don't matter if I just fucked her. Be sad, go crazy. I don't deserve being honest with someone. I'm guessing this is what Combs is saying in the voice note. They said, "How often did Sean call you crazy?" She said, "Often." It made me feel confused. They said, "What did you say?" That that she didn't just come to the gym. "I don't even care who you are laying up with. I wanted that time with him. I wanted that time with him." I said, "You just wanted the hotel shit." So here she's figuring out that you're not the girlfriend. You're not special. You're just Diddy is just using you as a sex object, and he's popping out with other women like Carisha. Carisha would be the new Cassie, while these other women were just basically in the background getting tossed around. Okay. They said, "How many photos did Sean use?" They said, "How many photos did Sean use them?" She said, "Two." Sean started dating another woman. He did a big birthday for her. They said, "How did you see it?" She said, "IG." They said, "What did you say?" She said, "I see what you are going. I see what you are going for her. Why do you play me? Say she's just a business partner, then you say she's spending money on you? How would you feel if I said a man was spending money on me?" They said, "You wrote, 'I feel cheap.' After your first hotel night in May 2021 with Don, what did you do next?" She said, "I was out on a yacht." They said, "And later, we would just sleep after hotel nights. What did you write in this note?" She said, "I wrote, 'Why am I just your freaky desires?'" And that's all that's essentially all she was. That's what it looks like. I said, "Did you send this to Sean?" She said, "No. I did not have the courage." They said, "In this one?" She said, "I wrote, 'You were partying with another girl. You just want me for debauchery. I'm done being used by you. You trashing my house with dirty debauchery. I'm done.'" They said, "And what was this?" She said, right after I sent my birthday having sex with this man, or spent my birthday having sex with these men in a hotel room, Sean went on vacation with another girl he was dating." She said, "Right after I spent my whole birthday on you, nigga, getting tossed by other men, you pop out with Carisha and have a ball with her and take her on vacation?" "How did he respond to your text?" She said, "He wrote, 'I didn't tell her about your birthday.'" They said, "What did you write? What did he write you next?" She said that it looked like I had a nice birthday dinner with my girlfriends. They said, "Who paid for that dinner?" "Sean." They said, but was he there?" She said, "No." "And here, you said you were tired." She said, "After 3 men." What did he write you here?" She said, "He wrote, 'I'm tired of you throwing sex in my face.'" He said, "I'm tired of you throwing sex in my face. Let's just be friends." "What do you think he meant?" She said, "Anytime I bought up hotel nights." They said, "What did you write?" She said, "Are you really breaking up with me?" And she started crying. She says, "You're the only man in my life. You took someone else to the place I've dreamed about." They said, "Where?" She said, "Turks." They said, what did he write?" He wrote, "I'm tired of these long texts telling me what I'm doing wrong." I wrote, "What am I doing wrong?" And then they have a break. Okay? Let's see where they are after this break. She's letting out a lot. Apparently somebody published her license. They asked her, "What's this?" She says, "A note on my notes." Were you writing what you feel at the time?" She says, "Yes. I wrote, 'You lied straight to my face to use me for a hotel night before your trip.' When you took a break from Sean, where did you travel?" She said, "France." Sean started texting me again and again. "Paris, Paris, Paris." They said, "How did it make you feel?" She said that he cared. "But I knew I had to stay strong. I went away for 5 days. He was adamant we should see each other. I missed him too. They said, why? She said, because I love him. Soon we were planning to go out to Turks. I'd go to Miami first. They said, what did Sean write you? He said, a night of debauchery, then to the beach. I said no. We have to reconnect. He said, cool. Did that turn out to be true? She said no. What did you do in Miami? We bickered about Paris. He said his girl can't just up and leave like that. He said this photo. She said this was our dinner. He said then what? Said he took a pill, and then we went to a hotel. We were watching porn, and Sean said, do you want Don? What did you say? She said yes. They said why? She said I was just used to it. Then we went to Turks. They said, and in Turks. She said Paul came. They said what happened? She says I'm back in an outfit. I'm going to try to do another round. It was really painful. I couldn't have sex. They said why not? She said I was extremely sore at this point. Sean tried to lube me up. He said you can't take any more dick. I threw the bracelet and said, you only brought me here to suck dick for you. I was talking, then sat on the steps of the villa. They said, did Sean talk? She said, yes. He said, how can you make me look like that in front of Paul? She said, Sean told me to apologize to Paul. I messaged her and said I was, or him, I'm guessing, because was Paul a girl or a boy at this point? What the fuck are we talking about? Maybe this is just a typo though. Said I messaged him and said I'm sorry how I acted, that I was really glad he'd come out to see me. They said, who told you to do that? Sean, she said. What did you write to Sly? She said if he can come to Turks. I told him he'd need a passport and vaccination. What did Sly respond? He said I'm willing, but I don't have a vaccination card. They said, why did you do this? She said, to make it up to Sean. Why did you write this way to Sly and Paul? She said, I wanted them to feel good, like they were not being used. She said, why? She said, I just do. What was the love contract in March 2023? He asked, she says, how much did I want per month? She said, I said 15. He said 10. He started paying your rent? She said, yes. Who's paying your rent now? Now? She still says, Sean. Sean is paying her rent right now. God damn. What else did Sean pay for? She said, my teeth. What do you mean? Says, Sean didn't like my teeth. I got new veneers. He also paid to furnish my house. My allowance just didn't do it. I used 3 credit cards. I had promised him an all-star party. What's that? They asked. She said I'd bring the top 3 guys all in the same night. They asked why. She said I was with my lover and he liked that. I told him. I have to be awake 8 a.m. Sunday. He said, I said the last time I got sick. They asked this first text. She said he felt hesitation from me about the all-star party. He asked, does your pussy hurt? You're not being straight with me. The second, a minute later, he quoted my text asking for help, more furniture in the house. Where here, Sean writes, Rico is ready. Who's that? She says, maybe the man named Michael. Or wait, maybe it was the role play and Sean was Rico. You don't know? She says, I don't. Why did you send a photo of pink toilet? Why did you send Sean a photo of pink toilet paper? She said, to show him that my period was about to come down. I needed the night off. Let's postpone. What did he write back? She says, he says, you're getting your hair done for nothing. I'm done. They asked, what did you mean? Movie night was not on my mind. What was that? We would not have we would not have an entertainer. We just watch our own movies of hotel nights. We called it movie night. And nigga said they just sat back and watched themselves. So this nigga, imagine you're with a person and every time you're with them, it's just about sex. It's just about sex being used, being pumped and then dumped and then moved and abused. It's just crazy. I wrote, why do you talk about the father of my child? Wait. They said, what did you write? She says, I wrote, why do you talk about the father of my child? All because you don't get your way one night and bust a nut. She says, they asked, what did he say back in this voice message? And this is Combs' voice. And they're listening to the voice play in the courtroom. It says, I don't have time, baby girl. You need to get on your job. You said, they asked, how did you interpret that? She said, he's making sure he's happy, including these nights. How did you respond? That he always brought up paying for the house. I felt like, I don't know, this guilt trip. I think this is a good time to break for the day and week. He lets the jurors out, and that's pretty much, so the prosecution just pretty much hammered her the entire time. Okay, Diddy's team didn't even get a chance to come back and ask any questions. They pretty much just left it to the prosecution that day. So tomorrow, I'm expecting to see perhaps the prosecution finish up, and then more cross, because I believe Diddy's team already came, but we're like in recross at this point. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys today. We are, again, not in our regular space in the Doja room, but I appreciate you guys for stopping in with me. If you have came in here, go ahead and hit this video with a like, hit it with a repost if you're watching on X. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell notification, and make sure that you hit us with a like as well. And just make sure you don't miss out on a video, especially if you're watching this trial and stuff like that. We've been keeping up with every single day of the trial, okay? So if you need to start from day one, you can. If you need to. If you want to hear from me personally, I appreciate that. If you're on Rumble, go ahead and hit this with a like and subscribe too. We are on Rumble, and ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and this episode will be going up there. But just so you guys know, okay, we are back on Spotify, okay? We are back on Spotify. I believe we're on Apple Music too. We are anywhere you can find podcasts. We are anywhere you can find podcasts. It's taking a little minute for it to load, okay, for whatever reason. But yeah, go ahead. This is what it looks like. If you need to find it, you can see the logo right there. Okay, go ahead. If you're on Spotify or if you're on Apple Podcasts or whatever you call the shit, go ahead and check out the show. We're gonna continue updating the episodes on here. I was locked out of my account here for a little minute, but luckily I'm back with it. All right. So again, check that out. It's worth it. Also, go ahead and check out our playlist, the official playlist of the Doja Room, okay? This is our official playlist. You're going to want to check this out. This is Diesel Doja. If you make music, if you like music, or if you just want to support, our boy Drake, there's plenty of that in there. So you can knock a lot of birds out with one stone, okay? We got Diesel's Doja, and we have Melodic Ice, okay, for the more sensual vibes, okay? So yeah, go ahead and check out those playlists. Go ahead and hit the bell notification so you know every time I tweet, every time I drop a video, and do all of that good stuff. All right, so that's all I got for you guys today. Gonna go out and enjoy the rest of what Atlanta has to offer, and yeah, it's time for you guys to go ahead and get the fuck out of the Doja Room. Okay, so to all my stoners, hippies, and hip-hop enthusiasts, I'm your boy, Dope Boy Diesel. I appreciate you guys for stepping into the Doja Room. And we'll be back tomorrow night to recap day 19 of the Diddy trial. Okay? Let's hit it. Wrong one. Now we can get it.
Yeah. Hey, this that special sauce. Spill that drip, I wipe it off. $1 million worth of game. Can't feel that, I